I have to thank several people here before I get started. Krista Quinn, the secretary in the counseling office. This could not have happened without her. Jamie Jensen, Brooke Dorr helped with the centerpieces. Yeah. Mindy put together the rockin' playlist that was playing when you came in. And our student ambassadors, our students, Reagan Levy, Molly Ermshire, and then our student ambassadors also helped with greeting us as we came in this morning. So thank you for all your hard work. Also, the food services providing us with this wonderful meal. It's okay, those cinnamon rolls don't count today. Make sure you have one. And then also our custodial staff. This room was ready for us when we came in this morning. I would like to personally thank the leadership team, Kelly Gillespie, the middle level coordinator, Dr. Jessica Meisenheimer, our district director of special programs, and then Brenda Wiederholt, the high school counselor coordinator. Brenda was not able to be here today. Unfortunately, she is attending a funeral in her hometown right now, so we will send her our thoughts and prayers as we go through this morning. Now I'm going to switch to talking about this amazing group of counselors. I'm going to do, and this is the only time I'll have you do it. I would love the counselors to stand right now. I'm not going to make them all introduce themselves, but I do want them to stand. So I have to say, I genuinely love being with this group of people, and I don't get to do it nearly as often as I like. Being with the K-12 group, it just really fills me with a sense of well-being. I always feel safe here, feel like things are going to be good and things are going to get done. And these are some of our district's most educated, trained, experienced, and dedicated people that you will ever work with. And most of it comes through their love of students. This group is made up of 41 DESE certified school counselors with a minimum of a master's degree. Many have gone on to get their ed specialist and a doctorate. 9 have national certifications. 8 have gone on to get their LPCs or become licensed counselors in the state of Missouri, and many are still working on those achievements themselves as we speak too. 4 of our counselors have been recognized as Outstanding Counselors of the Year in the KC region, the state, and nationally. Shannon Fletcher, Elementary Counselor of the Year. Hillary McLaughlin, Middle Level Counselor of the Year. Jill Brock was one of our High School Counselors of the Year. And then I can say this because Brenda's not here and she wouldn't have the attention. Brenda was recognized as Missouri's School Counselor of the Year and went and represented us in Washington, D.C. So we have a very well-represented and wonderful group of counselors here. Together we have over 500 years experience as school counselors, over 650 years experience in education. Some might say that makes us old. But I like to think we're more like a good steak that's been well aged. We just get better with time. I believe that Brenda and Mindy call that prime beef. We are working with beef stew. Okay, we're beef stew. Okay, I need to get my colloquialisms down right, don't I? But more importantly, they are just some of the most caring and compassionate and hardworking people that you will ever meet. As one of my principal's friends used to say, they're just good people. They're just good people. But thank you for everything you do for our schools and community. We often think of our counselors in times of crisis, such as a death in our school community, or we think of our counselors as working on scheduling with our kids, getting them ready for their K-12 experience to end and what's going to happen in life after that. But in the course of a day, any one of our school counselors could be greeting kids at the front door, consoling a student who has lost a loved one, completing an ICAP, talking to a student or teacher about their struggling student, sitting in on a children's division interview, changing 10 class schedules, breathing through a panic attack with a student or a teacher, screening a child for suicidal ideation, and then on the turn of a dime, they'll smile, walk into a classroom, and teach a lesson. And all of that can happen before the first bell rings. To watch a counselor on a daily basis, you might think all they do is run from one thing to another, but in reality, we have a method to our madness, if you will. All of our job duties are based on the DESE's comprehensive school counseling model. Among other things, this model helps us to recognize the 4 areas that we need to focus our time: school counseling curriculum, individual planning, responsive services, and system support. And I'll talk a little bit about each one of these and what they look like in Liberty. So school counseling curriculum, many don't understand this outside of the school district, but we are in the classroom meeting with every student at some point. It looks different at the different levels, but we're going in and teaching to every child in the district. And that's always not known. We think of the counselors as just being in their office meeting individually with kids, but we're in the classrooms. At the elementary level, our lessons, actually at all the levels, are based on state standards, DESE standards, where the state is in the process right now of revamping those standards for us. We're hopeful that will get done quickly. Elementary does 10 to 20 lessons a year, sometimes 1 to 2 lessons a month. Various topics, feelings, self-regulation, bully prevention, the things that you would consider the counselor to be doing at the elementary level. At the middle level, conflict resolution, they're looking at school links and more career stuff, suicide prevention, course enrollment, shadow search career day, which I just was invited to be a part of for the first time. I'm really honored to do that. ICAPS, 8th grade college visits, career and campus programs. At the high school, it can be done more in small groups or large group lessons, career links, school links, career assessments, senior and junior year awareness, healthy relationships, suicide, high school course enrollment. And then they do a huge amount of work on the annual college and post-secondary fair and the academic fair as well. Then we go into individual planning, which is the activities that we do designed to help students as they're establishing personal goals for themselves, and then that post-secondary career aspirations and education aspirations. At elementary, that looks a little different. We're doing a lot of career lessons and doing a lot of career exploration. Some of our buildings actually organize career days where we bring in experts from outside at the elementary level. Transition lessons, not only between certain grades, but then from building to building. And then success planning, so behavior planning and academic success planning. At the middle, we're continuing that career exploration activities, introducing the ICAP to the 8th grade students, that 4-year course plan. They're doing a lot of goal setting, transition activities from 5th to 6th grade, 8th, 9th. Right now, that's been happening a lot lately, where our high school counselors have been coming down to talk to our 8th grade students, and our 6th grade counselors are coming down to the elementary schools to talk to our 5th grade students as they make that jump to the next level. And then course enrollment support. At high school, lots of honing in that ICAP, individual career and academic planning, individual senior meetings. These counselors meet with every single senior in the building, and you know the size of our classes, so it takes a lot of work and a lot of planning. College and career labs, First Friday morning celebrations, roll with the counselors. I'm under the understanding that our counselors here at LHS take their speaker and they roll into the cafeteria to talk to kids about things. Promotion of internships and then scholarship workshops. Next, we go into what would be responsive services, and this is what you think of when you think of counselors. It's the individual counseling, it is the small group counseling, services provided to kids to meet the needs that they bring us at the moment. At elementary, it could be about things, peer conflict resolution, friendship, suicidal ideation, even at the elementary level, anxiety, stress, depression, anger, general home and life topics. Surprisingly, our young ones deal with a lot. Small group counseling over a variety of areas, consultation with all the adult stakeholders, and then referral to outside agencies if it's just beyond what we're able to do as a school counselor. We don't provide therapy. because our caseloads are so huge. What we provide is brief, solution-focused counseling. That could be 6 to 8 sessions, but I'll be honest, that's 6 to 8 sessions every time an issue comes up. So for many of us at the elementary level, we may see a kiddo at some level as they move from kindergarten through 5th grade. Okay? At the middle level, very similar, peer resolution, suicide ideation. Small group counseling focuses on resilience, coping skills, mindfulness, study skills. And then once again, consultation and referral. High school, a lot more focus on relationships and not just the friendships, but kids are starting to get more involved with each other. Suicidal ideation, anxiety, stress, and depression. And then once again, consultation, referrals outside agencies. System support. This is all the stuff we do in the background to make sure we can do those other 3 things. So that might be program planning, working with community groups, Operation School Bell, weekend snack packs, working with Children's Division and the Hy-Vee Character Luncheon are just some examples. Parent-staff collaboration, working on attendance meetings, building care team, IVP and 504 involvement, and then our professional development. Some of the pictures you saw earlier, we were very fortunate in our district to be able to attend the American School Counselor Association annual conference this summer. It was hosted in Kansas City. It was just kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because it was here. So we're very fortunate to be able to do that. At the middle level, more parent-staff collaboration, committee participation, program advocacy, so our program runs the way DESE intended it to run, general school support, and then once again, professional development. At the high school, coordination with lots of community partners, NCAPS, Early College Academy, career centers, our partnership with Williamsville College of Nursing, and then the online learning opportunities, and parent-staff collaboration, and professional development. Now, the way DESE helps us decide how we spend our time is they give us recommended amounts, percentage of time that we should divide between these categories. Curriculum, individual planning, and responsibility. And then the goal is about 80% of our time will be spent in what we call direct services. And then around 20% of our time will be spent in indirect services, those system support stuff. The C that non is there because that happens. We end up doing stuff that DESE technically doesn't call a school counseling duty. When you look at how we hold up, my favorite number is 34.19% with responsive services, because the majority of our time is spent meeting the needs of the kids. And that's what they need. That's what they want. They want to meet with us. Curriculum, we're about 10%. We're working on ways to figure out how we improve that. And this is K-12. This would look different for the elementary level, the middle level, and the high school level, okay? This is K-12. 18% in the individual planning. So about 62% of our time, almost 63%, is in that direct services. We're high in system support and we're high in non-counseling duties. In a minute, I'll talk about, we have started working on ways that we can lower that non-counseling duty percentage. And our leadership really responded to some persistent and passionate counselors, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. You want to get a counselor worked up, talk about 504. Post-crisis, so some of the things we're working on in the next year and years, we're working on shoring up a post-crisis response plan. So what do we do as mental health providers for the aftermath of something, the death of a community member, heaven forbid we would have some kind of school violence that took place. We've been working on this for a couple years, and we're at a point where I feel like we're going to be able to roll this out to administrators and buildings. Every time something happens in the news, I just cringe that, are we ready to handle this? Should it happen in Liberty? And we will be. We will be by the end of the year. We are currently reviewing and updating our suicide prevention and response manual. We do that every couple of years. Like I said, our our Dr. Dixon Seahorn and Dr. Jessica Meisenheimer and Sonia Swenson, our 504 coordinator, listened to us, and they formed an action committee to look at how we could make the 504 process more counselor friendly. And so that less of our time could go towards that, and hopefully more of our time go towards meeting the needs of our students. And in that process, I think we've also discovered some other areas in those non-counseling areas that we could probably tweak a little bit and gain some time towards those direct services as well. We will be reviewing what that looks like. And then we are constantly working on meeting the goal of the MSIP 6 standard of 1 school counselor for every 250 kids. And I think part of the reason this is so important is that in the past decade, and really post-COVID especially, we have seen an increase in student emotional concerns and behaviors. It can be anxiety, depression, stress, trauma, suicidal ideation. We did well over 200 suicide ideation screenings last year for our district. And that's just what the counselors did. That does not include the work of our colleagues, the school social workers. So if those kids receive mental health support, data shows that they're getting it from these individuals in this room. Most of them, if they see a counselor, are seeing your school counselors. They're not going on and getting service outside of the building. So I think that just highlights the importance of us increasing that direct service time and meeting those needs of 1 counselor to 250 kids. We are so fortunate here that our district leadership has listened to us. We've continually been able to add counselors to get closer to that student to counselor ratio. We have formed this action committee to look at how 504s can be improved. So I want to, at this point, take a moment to thank you. We recognize your support and we appreciate it. We also recognize, and we look forward to continuing to work towards meeting those goals. Okay, this is the good part. This is the good part. Being a counselor myself, you would expect me to be here speaking glowingly about these amazing people. So I decided to see what other people thought. So Caitlin Brown went out to the various schools and did an amazing job of working her way around the district, interviewing students, parents, and staff members. And she weaved all these interviews together into a really touching video. When she saw, I sent her a list of all the names that she had to choose from. And when she saw that there were well over 50 people, she emailed me and said, "Rob, this is going to be about 2 hours long. Can we focus this on a few buildings and for me to tell my story?" So we said yes. So even though not every individual building is represented, truly she wove a story that really speaks to all the counselors. So I'm gonna step back and show this.
Anytime I've had a student who needs a little extra support, I've always had a counselor available to help them, talk with them.
It's always such a relief knowing that there's another person in the building that is going to join me in supporting students.
I'm down at the Counselor Center every day just to do homework or talk about my day.
It's sometimes hard to talk at home or with some of your friends or something about what's going on.
The only other person that I can really do that with are my parents or my family, and I really appreciate that I can do it here at school.
It's kind of hard to describe just the moment. It's kind of like a sparkle whenever I see the counselors connecting with the students.
And she never pressures you to talk. If you just sometimes just need to be alone, just need someone to be there.
She's fun, helpful, and respectful. That's what I was going to say.
And I've just always felt supported when I go to other counselors, not just with Ms. Brock, but Ms. Wilson and just all the counseling center, just in general, because they just make you feel safe, supported, and they get you what you need when you need it.
They see and hear all sorts of things, and again, they meet every student with just incredible respect and love. They allow them to process things with incredible dignity.
I think kids at this age just really want to talk. They want to talk about their feelings. They're gaining more vocabulary about feelings through the lessons that she does with them.
How to communicate with someone without like wrathing out if you're mad at them, or like how to express what you're feeling to your friends, and all those things really helped me as a person.
She helps us with our anger, and she helps us with our sadness.
If you're feeling sad, she's not gonna like on purpose try to make you happy and then shoo you out. She will just like let you go through what you want to go through.
I feel like she has this knack for just being able to know you and kind of meet you where you're at, but then also really take the time and effort to push you to the next level.
She's here not just to learn the math and science and reading, but she's also here to learn how to handle relationships, or how to deal with when you're anxious, or how to just handle all of these big kid feelings.
You know, we try to take care of the whole student, and so they are a huge part of that.
It's really a huge resource as a teacher and as just an adult with kids. I would want my kids to go here because the counselors take such good care of all of our students.
And it's just really, really neat to have somebody that is, you know, has training and knows how to handle that, but also loves her.
I love knowing that there is an adult in that building who cares about my child's present and their future almost as much as I do, and that she can be the expert in all things social, emotional, academic, and that huge task of future planning.
You know, helping explore what those students want to do following high school, because you know, we really are setting them up for the rest of their life.
They were definitely there to help and just be a safe space and listen, and I could never repay back like the support that they gave me, because I felt so like secure and safe.
And every time they come in, it seems like such a gift. They often send out like a reminder, you know, through the calendar invite. It doesn't matter as an educator when they show up. It just feels like a weight has been lifted.
You know, I've had, you know, some personal issues come up that they've been great to be able to go down and talk to them and bounce some things off of them. And
more recently, we've experienced lots of loss within our building, and where the counselors come alongside the staff to support them, and whether that's just checking in with them or having more in-depth conversations.
They have put their own personal feelings aside and to put others before them. And that, to me, spoke volumes about them.
They are the heart and soul of our building.
It's just not something you get from a textbook or from a degree. They're clearly just wired differently.
I just think that the LPS counselors are amazing. They're wonderful partners for our students, for our teachers, and for our families.
Thank you, LPS counselors.
I love you guys. Thank you for all you do. And you're the best. I love you.
I'm very grateful for the counselors in every single way, and they should be celebrated like every single day.
They're the best people there is.
Again, you should be celebrated absolutely every single day for all the amazing things you do, and we are so thankful for you. Like I said, I could not do my job without you guys. So thank you guys so much. We love you.
I specifically chose to show that last because I always get kind of teary-eyed when I watch it. As our community shared, our school counselors deserve to be loved and celebrated every day. We call on you to perform in circumstances that would incapacitate most people. And time and time again, you rise to that occasion. We call on you to prepare our kids for this world that keeps changing day after day. And amazingly, you just do it. So one of my dear friends and mentors, retired LPS school counselor Michelle Brown, many of you have had a chance to know Michelle, she refers to school counseling as a calling. And I think she's right. And I am continually grateful that you answered the call to be in Liberty. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for loving our kids and community. And have a happy school council week. Thank you, guys.